Hi, Ange. All these videos are done without any of my kids around because it's the only time it's quiet. So it's not very good video coverage because I just have to set the iPad down and go. But I thought I'd show you about bone broth. It's just one of the most healing drinks you could have. And I try to drink a little bit every day or every couple days. I just can drink it as a cup, kind of like in just a little mug of it, warm in the morning. I love it. And I also use it anytime I'm doing soups, anytime I'm cooking rice. That's about the only grain we're really doing right now. But anytime we do rice, we use the bone broth for that, and the rice just sucks it up. So you get all the minerals, you get collagen, you get some gelatin, you get all the nutrients from the bone into your broth. So it's basically like a beef stock or a chicken stock, but it's just healthier and it's so easy to make. So I just thought I'd show you. I actually use, this is called the sous vide, but really it's just like a really nice crock pot. And so you can either do this on the stove or you can do it in your crock pot. It's the same thing. The safety is a little issue with the stove. I've done it on the stove overnight, but then your gas is on the whole time even though it's on low. And you want it to simmer a good like 24 to 48 hours because you want to really get all the nutrients out of the bones that you have in there. And if you just simmer it like 8 to 24, then you'll get some, but you really want to get it to where the bones are almost like you could crumble them after. I mean, you want it to pull everything out. It's really healing to the gut and your digestive system and enzymes. And I'm sure while you're going through this cancer treatment, this would just be a really healing, wonderful food for you. So there's not really a set recipe. I'll just show you. So mine has been going for about 48 hours and on just a pretty low temperature. When you're using your crock pot, I would put it on the highest temperature because you want it to get up to where it's not quite boiling, but you know, like when I very first do it on the stove, I usually boil it for about an hour and then I turn it down. So in a crock pot, I just keep it on high the whole time, but I keep it for like a good 48 hours. And so when it goes off, because mine's a timer, then I just reset it and time it. But you can keep it after the first go round of 10 hours or whatever, you could keep it on a lower temperature if you wanted, if your crock pot got really hot. I mean, you don't want it to constantly boil. So that's how you kind of watch it. So really, it's a little bit messy, but this is how I do it. So I just filled up my crock pot with water, and I used good distilled water. I filled it all the way up to the top line, okay? And then you take any scrap vegetables. So when I do celery, carrots, anything, I take the pieces that you normally throw in the garbage can, like the ends, the big ends of the celery, the peel of the onions, the ends of the asparagus, any greens that I'm using for the week that I would normally throw away. I just wash them out and I throw them in a freezer bag and I toss them in my freezer. And then when I'm ready to do bone broth, I just pull any vegetables out that I have. And you buy bones in the grocery store. Sometimes you have to go to like a Whole Foods market, but if you go up to the beef, you know, the meat counter, and just say, do you have any soup bones back there? Sometimes I'll give them to you for free. If not, they're really cheap, a couple of dollars, and you can get a bag. And even I have a local farmer that we get our grass-fed meat from, and when he has extra bones, he lets me just come pick them up for free. So it seems crazy a little bit, but it's really good for you. So when I get the bones raw, what I do, and I just learned this just this year, is I put them on a cookie sheet, put them in the oven for about 40 minutes on like 350. What it does is it just makes it so your broth tastes really, really good. It gives it a really good flavor. And when I do that, I put about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic on the tray too. And then I just get them out of the oven after 40 minutes and put them in my water. So if I was to get a spoon, I'll show you like the bones and so like when I'm talking bones, I'm just talking, can you see that? I know you're kind of far away with this camera. Just bones. So that bone marrow was in the middle of that, and that's now in my broth. This is another big soup bone. It's got some skin and stuff on it. If you can get organic grass-fed bones, if you can't, just make sure that once this is all cooled, you skim the fat off and throw it away, because most toxins will form in the fat of the meat, and if you don't have clean meat, then there's more toxins. So these are just little pieces of joints, ball joints, and you just throw all that in there. Okay, and let it simmer. If I buy an organic chicken, then it makes fantastic, you know, chicken stock after, and you just put the whole carcass in. You can put the skin, you can put everything, especially if it's organic. And you just, the more joints, knuckles, chicken feet, anything like that, if you can get it, that makes the best broth. It really does, because it gets kind of the gelatin in there that's in your joints and cartilage, okay? So then what I do is I just take this and I get a big bowl and I put like a strainer in it to catch the vegetables. So let me just pour this in. Because I do so much at one time, it's a little bit big, but so I just hold this over and I just pour it in. So all that is just whatever vegetable scraps and garlic and whatever bones I have. Once I get like enough, you know, bones, there's no set amount, honestly. It's just once I get like maybe 5 or 6, you know, good bones, I'll make a big batch. Or like even, you know, anytime I cook chicken. And if you don't have time right then, just put it in your freezer. And then when you get a chance. So if you can see in that, it's just like bones, vegetable celery pieces, some parsley pieces, you know, cilantro. Oh, the other thing that you really want to put, I splashed my nose. The other thing that you really want to put in it, once you put your water in, is a couple, like 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar, because this will help pull out the minerals from the bones better, and you'll put it in your broth. So then after that, it's got a little oily film on the top, but really all I do is I just take it after this, and it tastes really good, and you can season it more. You can put more seasonings in, but when I learned to roast all the bones first, just a little bit, it just gives it a really good flavor. My kids have it, I put it with their breakfast all the time. If we're not doing a green smoothie, then we'll do bone broth, and just get that right in there. And like I said, it's really, all these little things have really been helping Isaac's headaches and my kids' eczema and skin, and I think it's just helping repair their gut. So I just fill up these jars and then put them in the fridge. And what happens is once they're in the fridge, put the lid on it, and put it in the fridge, and then you'll notice the fat will rise to the top and just this little kind of little mass on the top, and I just pull it out when I use it. So, you know, the very first time I use it, I just scrape all that out and I just throw it away. Some people cook with it, but I still feel like if there's any toxins at all in there, it goes in the fat, and so I just toss it. And then I add usually some sea salt too if I need it, once I kind of taste them, because they all taste different, just depending on what you have around. But I put some good sea salt in it too, and like the real salt's a good brand, or Himalayan salt. You want like a good salt with lots of minerals in it. So I just fill those up, put them in my fridge, they last, or if I don't think I'll go through with them, I'll put them just in a big gallon-sized bag and put them in my freezer. But we go through them pretty quick, because we use them for anywhere that you could, like even steaming vegetables. Anytime you can add a little bit when you're sauteing something, and it just adds a ton of minerals. And it honestly, it tastes really good. So this might be something that's worth trying if you feel like it's not too overwhelming. It really doesn't, it's not hard at all. And if you Google, there's a bunch of different recipes, but really it's just good bones, raw apple cider vinegar, and vegetable scraps. I always put a little garlic, and you can put some herbs in there if you want. But if you have a lot of mix of vegetables, you don't really need them. Okay, so that's bone broth. See you later.